We are at the end of the world was the word from the preacher, but the teacher seems breeze off. So I stopped listening. Rather keep my headphones blasting. They talk fashion and cops still harass us like, really? We back to this again? Shoot you when you innocent? That ain't gonna stop me from probably acting niggerish. At the next protest, I'm James Brown meets insane clown, black, proud and ready to fuck shit up at a moment's notice. I realized that the world was bogus.
I was knowing no one gave a fuck about my black life back when you was playing Half-Life. A baby in the well, that's the way I baptized. Left a scar where I fell, but it made me mad nice. True story, move for me. Your crew's corny and I'm too sorry. And plus I leave a tune gory, I'm the new Voorhees. Boy, please, I ain't afraid of no harm. What the fuck they gonna do, shoot me while I'm unarmed?
No more watching my back constantly, rats and tap faculty. And when we cracked the safe, the captain never cracked the case. So much cash and weight, I thought I truly found my happy place. I twist my stash and examine ways to flip the profit. Exotic women and yachts, we came away from picking pockets. My accomplishments complement my confidence. My life's a fucking mess, but all in all, I got it poppin', shit.
For my energy, I'm living for the clan I built and choking down my dragon milk, trying not to think about all of the rappers that I killed. But my reputation proceeding to hunt me down, so I got no other choice but keep cool and I hold my ground. It's cold in the crowd now because I left them all leaking, and it never would have happened had they listened to the teachings of the monks. 33rd province put them up. We got dope sandwich sutras for the ones who give a fuck about this hip-hop culture that I'm meditating for. Pleasure and pride is the way to culminate the core of what we're working Like everybody, when you're a kid, you grow up to rap. Everybody's got like their little preschool bars.
We were early teens when it was just kind of natural. We'd be in the car or like in a bus going to the mall or something like that, or just cruising around and just start freestyling, throwing words out there and rhyming with them, and just.
I think the idea was to impress my friends. But the first time I started, I got serious, wrote some shit down and took time on it was I don't know, 15. There was this kid named Lito in my high school who really used to rap. And I was like, if he's doing that, I want to rap too. You know what I mean? Because he was nice. And I wanted to be nice, you know?
I started rapping senior year in high school. It wasn't serious. It was some friends of mine had asked me to be the front man for a rap rock band back when Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit was so I was like, all right, yeah, I'm black, I can do that. You know what I mean? It's I can rap. But I met a group of guys that I started hanging out with, former or current at the time SCAD students. Everybody read comic books. Everybody watched movies, everybody was into manga, and everybody rapped. There were some dudes who were graph artists, there were some dudes who were break dancers, there were some dudes who were photographers. But it was just we were all clicked up. We all smoked hella trees. So they used to call us H2O, high too often. We would always be out in a large group, you know what I mean? But all nerds, not intimidating at all. And not only that, but we didn't give a fuck about anybody, not in a tough guy way, but it's just we didn't care what anyone was doing. So it's we rolled downtown and went to the bars in our fucking, Cowboy Bebop shirts and shit like that. People were just those dudes don't give a fuck. They must be cool. YouTube was in its infancy, you know what I mean? There was not this large crop of different internet underground rappers doing stuff. Our shit was just very much up north, certain time period influence. That's the best way to describe it. It was the nerd version of Wu-Tang.
They've always been torn up and down. When they were young, they had the Vans. Valis was funding the movement, doing their thing. Mac would tell me it was they were young, so it would be all right, here's your cut, here's your cut, here's your cut, here's your, and everybody would just do whatever, young shit. I'm 23. My lights, I got cut off today. That's the type of shit they were on, but they were still torn up and down, the coast.
All the way from Savannah, Georgia, which is a long, long way away. I want you to make a warm Brooklyn welcome for Dope Sandwich. So, for those who's on the rubber wax clothes and shows, from the door I take my seat on the throne and keep it pulling when I'm speaking up low, that Jesus is low, so just leave it alone.
That shit took a toll. Certain dudes had to move on, graduated, get married.
And that was from 2005 to 2009. I'd say it was the first run of Dope Sandwich. So that's we're a group, dropping CDs, we're doing shows, we're touring, we're doing all this sort of stuff. It ran long enough for people to finish school, have kids, you know what I mean, and want to pursue their careers and stop doing it. Past members of Dope Sandwich, like there's Zone D, he like works for an advertisement firm. You definitely have seen commercials that he's directed on TV. Blue Collar is like killing it in the real estate game in Milwaukee. Mr. E, who's somebody I didn't even mention, he's like doing some production work. Like he just did the Grammys and the Oscars and all that crazy shit. But it's like I'm the one who was like making music and rapping is what I want to do. So like by the time I was like 26, I've toured like 5 times. I've dropped like multiple albums and stuff like that as part of a group. I've produced mad beats for different rappers and shit like that. I've been in music videos, yada, yada, yada. But now it's like I'm not a kid anymore. Like, let me really like focus on this and like run it like a viable business. Around the time I'd started making music with Migs, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do this Kickstarter for my album. And he was gonna do a Kickstarter for his album. So I was like, hey, well, you know what? If you're trying to do a Kickstarter for your album, I'm doing a Kickstarter for my album. We should just put it together and do a Kickstarter for Dope Sandwich, like to launch the label.
You know, once Mac and Migs got together, they got to a level where they were doing the same thing, touring up and down, going through Vermont, New York, Connecticut, and like doing a lot of networking there. And that's where a lot of like the current fan base that like we expanded to is like residing now. Like that was when they started, I think it was like phase 2 or 3 or something. Me and Jai are like phase 3 or 4 of Dope Sandwich.
Finally, when I came down here, 2013, and I met up with Mac, there was some dude that, you know, just at the Jinx. He told me like he could record me, and I saw his videos, and I was like, man, if I could get my shit to sound like that, you know, and he put me on.
I went one night, ran into Mac. He started working with me. Next thing you know, he hits me up. He's like, yo, I got this kid, you know, that you ran into him last week and y'all rapped together. I think you guys would be good for each other to work. Y'all don't have to be best friends or nothing. It's like, I don't know about that.
That when the album Iconoclast was coming out, he was doing like this album release party at Greyface, and he said he wanted us to perform for it. And I had some joints on SoundCloud, you know, that I recorded with my friends. So I did those joints, but he gave us a beat, me and Devin. So this is before we like decided to be a group and shit. He just gave us a beat, and we decided to just work on that beat together, and we performed it for the Iconoclast show. People were just like into it. People coming to us, asked us where they could find our stuff, like when is our album coming out and shit. We were just rapping, you know. We just was so stoked that we got to like fucking do a show with Knife. Like it was ill, you know.
He was in the crowd like, oh. You know, you see him running through it. That was the sign. It was like, you know, we got dudes that have been doing this for a while, looking at me and him at our first show. 4th song we've ever played in front of anybody ever.
Mac gave me a chance to do it, you know? And like the process of him giving me a chance, like pushed me to like be as good as I possibly could. Like he linked me up with Devin, and like we kind of like did the same for each other, you know? But Mac was really the one that kind of like, yeah, he was the Joe Jackson. You know, he's a Joe Jackson kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? He'll push you to do it.
Messing with Knife, you know, he had resources that we did it. You know, when somebody's got it and you don't, you know, they sort of can call the shots a little bit. But they weren't like shots that like we didn't have a say in or that we disagreed with.
For Cold Cypher, he's definitely the Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre guy. Like when we first met, you know, that he told me that he was gonna record me and shit. He was like, I don't want you to just come over to my house and just like, I'll play a beat and you write to it. Like, if we're gonna do it, like you have to have your shit memorized. I want you to know what ad-libs you're gonna say. And then like when we went to do it, he like made sure that we knew what the fuck we were doing. He just directed us, man. He was like, Quincy Jones that shit. We actually joke about that all the time.
Like, oh, say it like this, or like, you know, put a little more bass in your voice. Maybe like sing this a little bit. Yeah, I would say exactly like Quincy Jones.
He's like, I'm Quincy Jones in this shit. Like when he plays a beat, you know?
It's always dope working with, you know, with people who are like just like incredibly talented, and you know, it really shows in like the way he makes his music and the way he performs. It was really interesting because like, I mean, he and I have very different experiences with hip hop. The way we got into making it and the way we continue to make it. When you get in that collaborative space and you're working together, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy to be able to like feed off of someone whose mind is moving at like a totally like different, like on a different track than yours is. Both of us have like a mastery of what we're doing in our own way. And like I was saying, it's always a battle, like listening to a track for even us to be like, who killed it more? You know, it's just like always like, oh man, that line right there. Ooh, but the way you said that, it was just like, ooh.
I see myself still working with Cold Cypher and Knife, man. Like, you know, making these copper hits. That's Mac's joke. Like, yeah, man, we gotta pump out these copper hits. Like, all I want from this is just to be able to do it and like only rap. If I could just rap, somehow pay my bills, and if I could do it with my friends, that would be dope as fuck too.
Statistically speaking, you know, I try to be realistic about a lot of things. I want big things as far as the making music and doing shows goes. I have no doubt in my mind that we can take this to a somewhat profitable level. I can at least pay my light bill on time. I love working with music. I want to be like an executive producer status, you know, one day. Like I love to fuck with other artists. So like that's really the big goal, is I'm trying to be Quincy Jones one day.
The style of music that I make, I know that I'll continue to get better, whatever that may mean, you know what I mean, to me, however I define like my improvement. But I also know that I strive to be like the best MC I can imagine.
You know, you have your different level of success, or what you consider to be success, but it's like, I just want to have like at least a paragraph, if not a chapter, in like the book of hip hop. I just want there to be an official note, yo, there was a rapper named Dope Knife, and he was like one of the like illest people that I've ever heard. Whether that means that I went platinum, it's whatever. That shit's like winning the lottery, man, and that's not really what I'm doing it for. I'm lucky enough that I can do what I want to do, live doing it, and that's kind of what I want to do.
One shout out my brother Soko the Khan. One shout out my nigga Cooligan. My homie Mikey Charles. Shout out Dirty E. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother Kamal. My nigga James Hurdle. You know what I mean? My nigga Carla gave birth to me. I want to shout out to my nigga Mac. Baby. Big homie Zone D. Blue Collar, basically. Mix Son Daddy. Also shout out to that bitch ass nigga who told me I'll never be interviewed by anybody. I don't know, man. I just made that dude up. Everybody's always supported me my whole life.